Good morning, it's Wednesday, let's go shoot some aeroplanes. Hello again, so we are now sat outside of RAF Lakenheath in Suffolk. Lakenheath was originally opened in 1940 as a relief and decoy airfield from Mildenhall. It became a operational RAF base in 1942 with the deployment of a squadron of short Stirlings. The plan was that the site was going to be handed over to the US Air Force towards the end of the war when they were bringing their heavy bombers over, but by the time they'd upgraded the site, the war was over, so it was then put in reserve. The Americans did eventually move in 1948 as a response to the Cold War with Russia. They brought a number of B-29s over, and since then it has remained in American hands. It currently holds the 48th Fighter Group, which consists of the 492nd, 493rd, 494th Squadrons, which all have the F-15C, D, and of course the F-15E Strike Eagle. So we're here today to take some pictures of these magnificent jets. Let's go have a look. Let's talk a little bit about why I'm here. I'm a photographer, my passion is aviation. I do take other types of pictures, but this is my main one. So what I like to do every year, go to air shows, stand outside air bases in the cold to catch pictures of as many aircraft as I can. Don't make any money out of it, it's just for my own personal fun, for Instagram, Facebook, etc. But mainly it's for the relaxation of being out with the camera. I find that being out with the camera is incredibly therapeutic, and it just keeps my head sensible. This is the first time this year that I've been out with the camera for aeroplanes. My last one was October or November last year up in RAF Coningsby for the Typhoons. There's been a few planes gone up today, got a couple of pictures which you hopefully would have seen by now. Hopefully we'll be catching some more later on in the day. I understand there is some dusk flying today, so I'll be here for that hopefully, and yeah, let's see how we go. So aviation photography generally takes two forms. One, fast jets, two, propeller aircraft, which includes warbirds and helicopters. Both of these different options requires two different ways of shooting. Obviously with warbirds and propeller aircraft you want to get a bit of blur in your propellers to make it show the movement. Whereas with fighter jets, because they're going fast, generally if they're in air you can catch them, freeze them, and it's generally acceptable. On the ground, obviously you want to catch a bit of blur in the background to show they're moving, and the main thing behind this is panning and shutter speed. Obviously today I'm shooting fighter jets, so I'm going to be shooting with a fairly fast shutter speed. Obviously when on the ground I'm going to slow it down a bit just so I can get a bit of background blur, but hopefully I can demonstrate to you how this works with the pictures that I show you afterwards and the different types. I'll try and show you some panning if I can get my camera to work, and then let's see how we go. Sounds like the planes are getting ready to go for their second round of the day, so hopefully I'll be back to you later. So I'm sat in the car waiting for the afternoon launch to return. It's been a challenging afternoon, I must admit. The sun is low over the airfield, so every takeoff shot's been shooting into the sun, which leaves the planes backlit, which is always a challenge for places like this. As of any aviation experience, I've been shooting with a continuous shooting mode, so I've been looking through my camera. Some shots good, some not so, which is obviously usually the case unless you can nail your panning, but this being the first shoot out of the year, it's been a bit of a challenge, but it's nice to get back into practice of it. So whilst I'm waiting for some planes to come back, you can probably hear them, I thought I'd talk about what you can do if you want to get into aviation photography. I mean, it might seem like a fairly niche subject, and you see people with these massive cameras and massive lenses, but honestly, it's something anyone can get into. All you need is a Cannon Bridge camera. I mean, that's what I started on. And you can go to local airfields, local airports, air bases like Lakenheath here, or air shows. Air shows are ideal, they get you close to the action and you're surrounded by other like-minded photographers. So it's really no restrictions to this. It's just patience for places like this and just learning your gear. If you've got a decent range on your lens, you're well away. So give it a go. Looks like we might have one more run of jets, so I've changed locations. Hopefully I'll catch them going off into the sunset. So sadly we've been beaten by the light, which means that is the end of today. Quite a few aeroplanes have gone off, so hopefully there's some good pictures. So I think I'll be ending the video here. This is my first time doing this, so if you liked it, give us a thumbs up. If you don't, give us a thumbs down. Leave us a comment at the bottom if you want me to do some more, and maybe we'll do some more air shows and some other air bases later on in the year. Okay, cheers, bye bye.